Whether you believe that people love you and are obsessed with you, or if you believe that they hate you and they want the worst for you, or if you believe that you can do something, or if you believe that you can't do something, either way, no matter what you think, those are all delusions, because in reality, there's no way of knowing the reality. There's no way of knowing the truth. All truths are created in our own minds. So your mind creates a reality, it projects a perception of reality. And everything is a story that we tell ourselves. So since it's all delusional, we might as well choose a delusion that serves us and that creates a life and a mind that we want to live in. Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm rahozah, and if this is the first time that you're seeing my face, then welcome. It's so nice to have you. This video is about being delusional and why it serves you to choose the delusion that's right for you. But in order to talk about delusions, we must first talk about reality, because the definition of being delusional means holding on to beliefs that contradict reality. So what is reality? Now, this is a loaded question and could go in many different directions depending on who you're gonna ask. But from a zoomed out perspective, and according to science and quantum physics and even ancient spiritual teachings like Kabbalah, I know, for example, spoke about this 2,000 plus years ago, and science is even coming out now, quantum physics coming out now, that proves the notion that reality, what we call reality, is actually only 0.00000000001%, that's 12 zeros, okay? 0.1% physical. So that means that 99.9999912 times is energy, right? It's not physical. We can't see it with our senses. It is energetic. It is consciousness. It is the spiritual realm, some might say. There's just different terms that are really describing this universal energy. Our limited human perception is what allows us to see this 0.0001% physicality as all there is, right? That's how limited we are. We only see that 0.1% illusion, right? We're not seeing the whole truth. We're not seeing the true reality that exists beyond just our limited perception and five senses. In reality, objective to human beings, there's so much more to reality than what meets the eye. So if you think about it, living strictly in the 0.001%, I'm just gonna call it the 1% because it's a lot easier than doing all the zeros, but if you think about it, in reality, living just by the 1% reality is actually more delusional, because you're only believing what you see and what you sense, rather than living in the 99% realm of your soul, of creativity, of infinite intelligence, of connection with this energy and the space between everything, the realm of consciousness. That is the 99%, whereas our bodies can only experience the 1% if we're living in the ego, if we're living in that 1% reality and stuck in our own minds. But if you want to be something great, if you want to be successful, then you need to get quote unquote delusional, what society will call delusional, even though really collectively society is really the ones living in a delusion, because you're only operating by the 1%, right? But the people that are successful, or the people that step out of the 1%, are looked at as crazy or delusional, because what they're doing is they're expanding themselves beyond the self-imposed limitations that us humans have collectively decided to put upon ourselves. So in order to expand ourselves past that illusion and past those self-imposed limits that society tries to box us into, once we remove those blockages and surpass what we believe is possible, in order to be great, you have to have that some level of being delusional. You have to have some level of delusion to believe in yourself enough to put yourself in positions that surpass the norm, right? That surpass the self-imposed limits, like we said. Success is not the standard, and just expansiveness in general is generally looked down upon. Maybe more so on a subconscious level. Yes, people might not consciously say, like, I don't want this person to succeed in life. It might not be a conscious thing that we say, but we believe these self-imposed limits, right? We place them upon ourselves. And the people that place the most limits upon themselves are the ones that are going to be judging others, looking down upon others, even if it's in a subconscious way. So in order to break free from that, you need to believe that anything is possible. All the limits that you've put upon yourself are self-imposed, and it's not all your fault. I mean, look at the world that we're living in, where, you know, everyone is kind of being conformed to be a certain way, to, you know, live a certain type of life. Like, there's a kind of ideal idea of what the perfect life looks like. So when people live in delusional or la la land, or dream bigger or outside of the way that is maybe the normal path, a lot of times it's looked down upon. But that's all driven by fear. And the reason that we stop ourselves from that expansiveness and pushing past those limitations is from fear as well. Fear of appearing delusional, fear of appearing crazy, fear of a bunch of things, of course. And on a deep level, this is something that I've realized myself, is one of the biggest fears that we have is not about failing, and it's not even about what people think of us. Our biggest fear is how much light we actually have, how much potential we actually have. And how scary is that to step so into the unknown, into your potential, taking a risk on yourself, putting yourself in positions where you have to own your light and your greatness. That is most people's biggest fear. And I'm gonna make a separate video on that for sure. I know Marianne Wilmington talks about that a lot, so I'll definitely include some of her teachings in that upcoming video once it's out. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there, that a lot of people, the deepest core root fear is not of our darkness, but it's actually of our light and stepping into our potential because of what that will mean about us, what kind of responsibility will that put on our shoulders, you know? Because the truth is, humans are limitless. I love the 4-minute mile story, which, if you don't know what it is, just to very quickly explain what the 4-minute mile is, you know, there was a certain point in time where humans believed it was literally physically inhumane, impossible to run a mile in 4 minutes. And so nobody in the world was able to run a mile in 4 minutes until one person, I don't know their name, decided to expand themselves beyond what everybody else has done, what they think is possible. They were delusional enough, they were expansive enough to put themselves in a position to obviously risk so many things, right? But the point is, they were delusional. People called them crazy, people called them delusional, I'm sure, but despite all that, they pushed themselves outside of the self-imposed limitations that humans up until that point placed ourselves in. They decided to go beyond it, and that person ran a mile in 4 minutes. All right, and since that point, there have been countless people that have run a mile in 4 minutes, but it was only after that one initial person showed everyone, proved to everyone that it's possible, that your limits are mental, they're self-imposed, that our minds will do the most to not put ourselves in those kind of situations because maybe we just believe it's impossible and we're limited in our thinking. But humans are unlimited, right? We don't know how much we can do until it's done. Why can't you be wildly successful? Why can't you find a system that works for you and persevere until you achieve the thing that you want to achieve? You can. Any limits that you perceive to be there are self-imposed limitations that you've placed upon yourself. It's a harsh truth, but it's a powerful truth when you truly embody and recognize that the power actually is in your hands. You have the power to surpass your self-imposed limitation, right? And all the discoveries, all the beautiful inventions, which there isn't even any such thing as invention, it's really just discovering the things that already existed in the universe, right? We didn't invent gravity. We just discovered its existence. We discovered formulas. You know, think about Einstein, think about Steve Jobs. The technology that exists in the world today is because of these two boundary breaking, parallel reality shifting people that decided to go against the collective idea of what was possible. They had to be delusional in order to discover what was, you know, not what they actually, you know, had within them. Of course, they were geniuses and were tapped into something much higher, but they were just discovering things that already existed in the universe, right? The technology that we have today, it was not invented out of thin air. The materials and all the everything that comes to put the technology together, like, it existed, right? The capabilities, and like, that's what I mean by the universe is literally limited. There are there's an unlimited abundance of things and possibilities, and we would never find out about so many of those things if there weren't people that were delusional AF to figure it out. So being delusional is like tapping into that infinite intelligence, tapping into that 99% reality, tapping into our consciousness, going within ourselves, adding a mindfulness practice where you can disconnect from the 1% reality that's an illusion and zoom out and realize the truth, the true reality. Tap into the true reality and open yourself up to be divinely channeled by the 99% reality. Only by doing that are you able to reach unthinkable things, because you're able to tap into so much more than what is thinkable, what is logical. That's how successful people do it, is because they persevere, and you can only persevere if you believe that it's possible. If you don't believe in yourself, then that's a doubt that you're imposing on yourself, and then of course you're not going to take the necessary actions and persist until you succeed, because you don't even believe that it's possible for yourself. So that self-belief is the number one key. And to a lot of people, having such strong self-belief, having such strong confidence, look how many confident people there are in the world today, and so many people will like look down upon them, or say they're cocky, or say they're conceited, self-absorbed. But on some level, of course, there is the narcissistic side of that, which we're not talking about, but the side that is choosing a delusion that serves them to reach their goals. You know, I could sit here all day and say, oh, this person hates me, I'm not gonna be successful, but in reality, that is just an assumption. That is also just a delusion, right? Think of the law of assumption. What you assume is true will be true for you, because our minds are such powerful creators that our perception on everything is everything. What you look for is going to be reflected back to you. You know, I could choose the delusion that everybody hates me, that I'm not gonna be successful, that XYZ negative beliefs, that could be my natural assumption, that could be my program beliefs, right? That could be my natural egoic tendencies and thoughts and whatever, the way that I show up. But in reality, that's a delusion as well, because I'll never actually know how other people are thinking. That's a reality I'm creating in my own head, right? That's delusional. So I choose to not live in that delusion. I choose instead to live in a delusion that serves me. A delusion that serves me, which to other people may sound absolutely crazy, but it's like, either way, you're living in a delusion. Choose which delusion you would rather live in. I'd rather live in the delusion that everybody's obsessed with me, everybody loves me, anything I put my hands on and that I touch, I, achieve greatness and I manifest whatever I desire. Like, that is the delusion that I'm deciding to step into. That is what I'm going to program my mind and believe about myself, because I believe both of these options are delusions, right? Nothing is ever certain. Nothing is ever guaranteed in life. There's this false sense of safety that comes with the normal path. But if you want something greater out of life, if you want to expand yourself into places where no one has ever been before, then you need to do something different. You need to expand your mind, open your mind, step into that fear, step into the unknown of a reality that you are creating. And you have to have a delusional, quote unquote delusional, sense of self-belief in order to believe it's possible, in order to expand your self-imposed limitations and achieve the life and the things that you desire. I want you to dare to create your own reality. I want you to be empowered by this idea that you are the creator, that any limitations that you have are self-imposed. I want you to think bigger. I want you to expand beyond your past self. Life is what you say it is. So be empowered by that knowing and choose what you say it is wisely. Don't let other people's perception of you and where they're at mentally and with their own perceptions on reality, don't let that sway your self-belief. You need to be your number one supporter in manifesting and taking action in the things that you believe are possible. All I wish for you is that you truly tap in and know your truth and tune out the noise. You are living in your truth and the true reality when you are tapping into that 99% reality, that 5D consciousness, right? Rather than the 3D reality, that 1% consciousness. So that's all for me in this video, guys. I hope you got value out of it. If you did, please leave me a like and a comment letting me know what was the most valuable thing you got out of this video. Hit the subscribe button to get new videos from me every Tuesday and Thursday. And without further ado, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. Love ya.